Hi there, welcome to the AVAX Wyckoff technical analysis session. So for Avalanche, last week we already talked about it's getting pretty close to the price surge, but this week it seems like it's still trading sideways and it's kind of like it's coming below the upward trend as well. So is there a problem? Let's quickly dive in. So here, this period, backup last point of support, can have a final shakeout before the price really jumps. If we look at 2024, around end October, early November time, there was also sideways movement. And then eventually the last 2 weeks before the price jump, there were two pretty long red candles over there. So it's like the final shakeout before the whales or the market controllers take action. So now it's kind of similar to what happened back then. So a little bit of sideways movement, and then now is edging beyond this upward trend line. So if I move this trend line across, you see the similarity, right? So it did not continue the upward trend smoothly. Instead, it took a dip before it pumps up. So I haven't changed this line, I'm just moving it across. You see what's happening over here, right? So that's first thing in the like the big picture. So you should still, if you're the bulls hoping it for rise, you should still hope for the same thing, for the price to challenge the 29.3 key level. If you're a bear, I won't say there's no chance for it to come down for more tests, but as of now, this possibility I would say is around 25%, while this, not this exactly because this is happening, this coming to this level, actually I should borrow it here. This is more like 75% for the time we're in this chart where it's trading horizontally. So while you expect there may be a chance of a shakeout, a dip below the 22.6, the medium term, it's a bit tricky because medium term means different things for different people. For some people it's like 3 to 5 months. For some people it's like 3 to 5 weeks. So basically in the next few weeks, let's put it this way, hopefully we'll see the challenge towards the 29.3 key level. And then going to the daily, if I turn on this Bollinger Band Keltner squeeze, you see the purple lines are still within the orange. That means the squeeze, the energy is still being gathered. And looking at that, this price move would be pretty impressive, I would say, given the consolidation has been going on since probably around August 11th. So basically more than 2 weeks now. 24 days in total. So back to the Wyckoff pattern in the daily time frame. Here we see, let me switch off this Bollinger Bands. After the sign of weakness, there's another sign of weakness, both confirmed. Not yet heading towards the selling climax, but if, like I said here, is heading towards the upside more likely than the downside, here the selling climax would be of the similar chance, that's 25%, while heading towards the upthrust would be 75%. It's a bit early to say anything about upthrust of the distribution because that would be something down here. If it goes to the PSY, there may be some fluctuations in between, and that's going to pull the price down. And for the daily chart, that would mean returning to a lower level before it climbs to the upthrust of the distribution. if it really goes up very sharply, much like here, multiple consecutive weeks of price rise all the way to the peak, then in the daily chart obviously the upthrust will be somewhere higher. So that's the tricky part, like trying to align the two time windows, because they are totally different and it's going to mess up the daily time frame. However, it seems interesting to the community, so let's keep that going. And then here, finally, in the weekly chart, looking at this, be really careful of one thing. I mentioned a couple of times in other altcoins, whichever exhibit a lower peak, that's something you should pay attention to. Because if this trend continues cycle after cycle after cycle, that means the long-term value, even speculative value, is getting lower and lower. So even if you are not like a diamond hand and hold for long, the kind of investor, even if you're just doing like short-term speculation, if the swing gets smaller and smaller and smaller, your return will be declining. So hopefully AVAX, this time if it really comes to distribution, I hope it's going to get to somewhere around this upthrust level, so to break the pattern of this declining trend. Finger crossed if you are supportive of AVAX. Hope that happens and gives you some